Hi guys, it's Miss Carly here. I am here with this week's art lesson. So last week we talked a little bit about texture and how texture is the way something feels when you touch it. So you did leaf rubbings and we talked about how leaves can feel smooth or wet or slippery if it's first thing in the morning. If they're dry, they can be rough and crumbly. So this week I wanted to carry on with the texture theme and we're going to do a fall tree. So we're going to use stuff that you can find around your house. So you just need a piece of paper. We're going to try and do a watercolor background. So if you have some sort of Ziploc bag or baggie, that would be great. Markers, glue, so a glue stick or white glue will work, whatever you have. And then paper towels, and then either pieces of colored paper or pieces of tissue paper. And there's lots of different ways to do this. So if you don't have those exact things, I will explain some substitutions that you can use as we go along. So you can gather up your stuff and get started. Okay, so we're going to use the Ziploc bag to do our watercolor background. So if you don't have a Ziploc bag, a small sandwich baggie would work, or a plastic wrap would work as well. So on here you're going to use washable markers. Sharpies won't work, but washable markers will. This is going to make the sky in our background. So that's why I chose blue and purple. If you wanted yours to be more fall-like, you could use other colors, like reds and yellows. You could do yellow and blue together, whatever you wanted to do. So all you do is take your markers and you color all over the bag in blocks of color. If it doesn't look like it's sticking, or if it looks like it's peeling up, it's okay. Or bubbling up. It'll still work. It'll still be there. And you just do color. It does not have to be perfect. You can scribble on it, because as soon as the water hits it, it'll just turn into watercolor and be the background. Okay, so you got that colored. So now we're going to set that out of the way for a second, and you're going to get your piece of paper, your white piece of paper. And we need to get this wet. So there are a couple ways to do it. You can flick water on it with your fingers. You could spray it with a spray bottle. I'm using water and a paintbrush. And I'm just going to paint the water. You want to go pretty quick because we don't want our water to dry. And you're going to go all over and get this whole paper wet. And then you're going to take your Ziploc bag, set it down on the water, and smush it with your fingers. And you'll be able to see through the baggie the water, turning it into a watercolor. And then you peel this off, and you're left with a background. A beautiful watercolor background. So that's our background. So now we need to make our tree on here. And like I said, when we talk about texture and the way something feels, tree bark is very, very rough. So paper towels work really good. So I have pieces of the paper towel from school. You can use paper towels at home. If they're white, it's okay, because there's things called birch trees. Birch trees have white tree trunk and white branches, so that works good. Another good paper towel, or napkins. Napkins work good. If you go to McDonald's or Burger King and get extra napkins, you might have some of those in your car or some of those stashed somewhere. Those work. If all else fails, just use another piece of white paper and we can crumple that. So what you're going to do is take this and we're going to crumple it into a ball and squeeze it really tight. Then we're going to open it up And then we're gonna squeeze it into a straight line, like this. Nice and tight. And this is gonna be our tree trunk. So now is when you need your glue stick. Or white glue, whichever you're using. And we're gonna add our glue stick, or add glue to our background. And then you're gonna take this, you might have to open it a little bit and press it down onto the paper to make it stick. If pieces go over the edge, you can cut them off, rip them off, whatever you wanna do. Press it down. And now we have the tree trunk. But now we need to give our tree some branches. So now you want to take another piece, do the same thing, crumple into a ball. The harder and tighter you crumple, the more wrinkly it's going to be. Open it up, squeeze it into a line. This one we're going to rip in half because we just need little branches. Squeeze real tight. And then we can add glue and set these down to make our tree branches. So we have something for our leaves to grow on. Press it down and it'll stick. So now we have the tree trunk. We have our branches, and if you look at it, it feels rough and bumpy, just like a tree would. But now we need to give it some leaves. So like I said, you could use tissue paper, which is what I have. You could take markers and color another piece of white paper in all different fall colors and tear it up. That would work. And you're just going to take the pieces, stick them to your tree, around your tree, on the tree branches, wherever you want leaves to go. Now remember, it's fall, so we have leaves that fall down here at the ground too. So you want to make sure you put some down there so it looks like they've fallen. Maybe you make a really big leaf pile. And you just keep going until you get your whole tree covered in leaves. So you just keep going until this whole top is filled. You can put some down here at the bottom. And then you have a fall leaf tree that is nice and textured, and you can feel the roughness and the bumpiness. If you do one of these projects, post a picture. I'd love to see what your textured fall tree looks like. Have fun, guys, and I will see you next week.